Well, good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to the Happiness Arena live here in Nagasaki for tonight's game in the Japanese B.LEAGUE between our hosts, Nagasaki VELCA and UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Tonight, indeed, is an East versus Western Conference matchup. The number 2 team in the B.LEAGUE, UTSUNOMIYA BREX, number 1 in the Eastern Conference, currently up against a team who are currently 11 victories behind making any form of a playoff run. And with only 14 games left in the B.LEAGUE, and with a very abysmal home record, Nagasaki VELCA tonight could very well seal the deal of making sure they don't end up in the postseason of this year's B.LEAGUE playoff run. Their standings, of course, Western Conference, Nagasaki VELCA sitting in 6th place with only 21 victories. Interestingly enough, they've actually won more home games, or they've won more away games than lost, but they've definitely lost more home games than they've actually won. Well, BREX have been fantastic. Only one win right behind San Antonio Phoenix. Those two teams played last week, splitting 2 games in Utsunomiya. Of course, BREX, like Alvag Tokyo, 2 teams this season that will be chasing a 3rd B.LEAGUE championship. Well, the Utsunomiya fans have made the long journey down here, and here's the last game for the BREX, winning emphatically against Nagasaki VELCA by 13 points. Ron Jarrett was tough in this game. The big man now in his 3rd season playing for the BREX. Well, Nagasaki VELCA did show some promise. Well, the likes of Kaisei Hoshikawa, because came to his own, but here, of course, you can see Seiji Ikaruga now having to play more substantial minutes this season for the BREX. Well, Kosuke Takeuchi, of course, another key player for this team. The veteran now who's actually played in the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2006, and there's AJ Edu of the Gilas Pilipinas national team. Well, that time getting rejected in the paint, but look how quickly, with the likes of DJ Newbill just orchestrating the transition, and that's one thing the BREX have been so good at this year. The fast break points, they have been tough. Last night, BREX converting 13 out of 35 from the three-point line and showing exactly why they want to be the number 1 team in the B.LEAGUE this year. Well, we're going to take a look at the starting lineups very soon. We'll also look at key players on the roster. Because the thing here for Nagasaki VELCA, defensively, they're not a bad team. They only concede 77 points per game against all opponents in all of the plus 40 games they've played so far this year in the B.LEAGUE. But the problem for them is consistency. Well, they are featuring some Japanese national team players, the likes of Yudai Baba, not to mention Hayato Yamaguchi. But the key star players you want to look out for this evening, number 7, Jarrell Brantley, that man you saw pop up on the left. Mark Smith has also been a key player for them. But it's going to be a tough test and a very tough ask. Mark Smith, of course, making the journey to the Japanese B.LEAGUE from the Spanish ACB, where he did play for Cathedral Zaragoza. And if you really like your B.LEAGUE history in the pathway, of course, from B1 to B3, Nagasaki VELCA, the only team that's been, they've been promoted in 3 consecutive seasons from B3 to 2 and now here to B1. Utsunomiya BREX, the star player will be DJ Newbill, former Japanese national team player who did play at the Tokyo Olympics. Gavin Edwards, he will be in the lineup. While also now, as mentioned, in his 3rd season, Grant Jarrett. But if you look at their domestic players, you've got the likes of Makoto Hiyajima, number 6, one of the best 3-point shooters here in the B.LEAGUE. Head coach Zico Coronel, but another superstar player who at times has started for this team but also has been a key foundation as a 6th man is the New Zealand international Isaac Fotu. Well, there's the young 22-year-old Atsuya Ogawa, who tonight is going to make a starting lineup. Well, Ogawa is in the starting lineup. He'll play alongside Yusuke Endo, Kosuke Takeuchi, DJ Newbill. Well, the final player will be Grant Jarrett. So, interesting night tonight here. Coach Zico Coronel putting a lot of confidence in his young 22-year-old point guard who really has, as I mentioned, come into his own and matured as a player this season. Well, there's your starting 5 for the Utsunomiya BREX. And now, indeed, we're going to introduce the key players and the starting lineup for Nagasaki VELCA. But now, let's enjoy the local entertainment here at the Happiness Arena. Well, there's your key players to look out for tonight. Seiji Ikuruga, number 18 for UTSUNOMIYA BREX, while number 10 for Nagasaki VELCA, Io Nagano. Because Nagano did arrive from Niigata Albirex, a team, unfortunately, who did get relegated from B2 last season to B3, and now finds himself back up against the elite competition of Japanese hoops here in the B-League. Well, I can see we got some people already live on the YouTube chat, so 0539rock supporting Tojiki. Of course, Tojiki is the name of the prefecture, and the Brex's former name, they were known as Tojiki BREX, but now take the name of the city, which is Utsunomiya. Starting 5 this evening, here for Nagasaki VELCA. Of course, they will have Masaya Karimatu, who's averaging just under 20 points per game so far this season. AJ Edu, the Gilas Pilipinas international player, along with the likes of Jarrell Brantley. The final two players that will be coming out this evening for the BREX. As mentioned, with AJ Edu and Jarrell Brantley, Yudai Baba. And of course, Hayato Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi rocking the dye blonde hair, known as Grande Mikey on X. You got that reference from the cartoon Recess, Big Mikey, I believe. Your starting 5 for Nagasaki VELCA, and now indeed we're just under 2 minutes away from tip-off. Live here at the Happiness Arena, Japanese B-League basketball. We now have 14 games left in the season. Coach Maor from Israel was now in his first season as head coach of Nagasaki VELCA. Knows what a big game it's going to be this evening. Well, they lost yesterday by 15 points. They gave away 13 three-pointers against one of the best perimeter shooting teams here in the B-League. Defensively, they've got to make life tough for DJ Newbill, number 25 at UTSUNOMIYA BREX. And also, they've got to keep players like Grant Jarrett, Gavin Edwards, and of course, Isaac Fotu away from getting second chance points. Well, the key battle, we talked about key players to look out for with Seiji Ikuruga and Io Nagano, but I'm looking forward to this point guard battle. Well, this will be interesting. Masaya Karimata, one of the best PGs here in the B-League. He will go up against young 22-year-old Atsuya Ogawa. Brantley shaking hands with his opposing coach, also with the VIP fans. Grant Jarrett definitely has his game face on in the moments. And again, if you're watching live here on B-League International YouTube, please let us know where in the world you're watching this game in the live YouTube comment bank. And also, which team are you supporting? Are you supporting Nagasaki VELCA? Or are you supporting UTSUNOMIYA BREX? Jarrett's going to jump this one with AJ Edu. Tip is up, and it will be first possession to the BREX. Well, big moment now for Ogawa. Who traditionally has become a second/third string option so far here in the backcourt for the BREX. Ogawa penetrates. Right in the defense, unable to finish. Well, great help side defense coming from AJ Edu. AJ Edu last season did play for the relegated Toyama Grouses. Well, playoff picture might not be possible. He's having a great season so far here for the VELCA. Brantley has a mismatch. Now inside the paint, but that's a little too short. Jarrett secures the rebound for the BREX. Both teams still looking for that first field goal here in the early minutes. And here's the player they want to put the ball in the hands of, DJ Newbill. Jarrett faced by congestion. Has to go for a tough inside shot. That's not going to go either. Well, both teams struggling to get those high percentage looks, but Ogawa almost comes up with it, and that's going to be possession back to Nagasaki. Well, that is the relentless nature this young man's been given on defense. Every time he comes on the floor for UTSUNOMIYA BREX, he definitely plays with his heart on his sleeve. Plenty of time here on the shot clock for Nagasaki. Now we're under 10. Brantley has to give this one up. Finds Karamata. Bava's got to give this one up. Brantley goes for an early three. But Edu offensive rebound, and he beats the shot clock. AJ. Well, we've seen him do that many times for the Gilas Pilipinas Philippine national team. High pick and roll from the BREX, but foul's going to be called on the ground. Foul is going to be against Masaya Karimata. Of course, Ogawa was wide open in the corner. Atsuno Ogawa was wide open for three, and they didn't get the ball to him. Well, shout out to Trish Carnell. She was the wonderful mother of Coach Zico Carnell. Watching live from New Zealand, but good deep. Oh no, they're going to call foul against AJ Edu. Well, this is tough. Tough call to say the least. That's going to be his first personal foul. So free throws coming up for Grant Jarrett. Now, Edu's the secondary defender. I don't know. That's a tough call in my mind. Well, Grant Jarrett makes the first free throw. Has been one of the key players so far. And the one thing that will go in favor of UTSUNOMIYA BREX tonight is the fact that Nagasaki VELCA have only won 9 games at home this season, and they've lost 16. And as mentioned, they've won more games on the road than they've lost. Mr. Happiness Arena, one of the state-of-the-art venues here in the B-League, holds 6,000 spectators. Well, there's the penetration. Bradley wide open. Three still not dropping as Newville comes up with it. BREX looking to take the lead. Ogawa, Euro step, but he misses. Kosuke Takeuchi falling in for the offensive rebound, but Nagasaki will get this one back. Well, this is the learning curve for young Atsuya Ogawa. He's got to be able to finish those moves in transition. But give him the benefit of the doubt. Still only 22 years of age, but he is playing on a team. They're not going to be championship contenders in the postseason this year. That's another turnover. Ogawa comes up with it. Ogawa may have got away with the travel. Now Yusuke Endo fires a 3. That's a good look for Yusuke Endo, but they could have got something better on the fast break. Still Nagasaki. Mid-range goes from Baba. Well, it's become isolation basketball from Baba Boom. And Nagasaki just need to settle into a half-court offense. BREX, one of the best defensive teams here in the B-League. Holding the second best record here in the B-League. Takeuchi doesn't take many threes, but when he does, he knocks him down. Kosuke Takeuchi. Well, almost 20 years ago, he was defending Dirk Nowitzki when he represented Japan in the FIBA Vasa World Cup in 2006. Amazing to think that he's still playing today, but a foul is going to be called against Grant Jarrett. Well, that's an easy decision for the referees. Jarrett trying to come out and hedge aggressively. But Baba that time throwing the foul against him. Baba now again mid-range. Nothing falling. Yudai Baba returning to the Japanese B-League after a very successful stint playing with Alvak Tokyo. Of course, did win the former FIBA Asia Champions Cup, which now is known as BCL Asia. The team's heavily looking for those three-pointers. At the moment, nothing dropping consistently. Nagasaki trying to build something. We got to take something. Time is winding down. Goes in. Gets rejected. Well, Kosuke Takeuchi, 40 years young. Now new build. Man playing for a most valuable player award this season. Finds Grant Jarrett. Another 3 goes missing. Well, that's going to be a turnover. Well, Nagasaki VELCA defensively did a good job of forcing BREX into a tough contested 3. But they weren't able to secure the rebound. So now Tanner Groves does come in for AJ Edu. But welcome to Kathy Heathcliff. Of course, watching from Zico's home turf. A lot of Zico Coronel fans in the YouTube channel. Love it. Of course, if you are just joining us, Zico Coronel, a top international basketball coach, started as the assistant this season. But unfortunately, due to the tragic passing of head coach Kevin Bracewell, our thoughts and prayers go to both him and his family in such a difficult time. You kind of get the feeling that the BREX destined to make great things happen in memory of such a wonderful coach and great person, but a foul's going to be called. Well, that's on Unai Baba. 5:23 to go here in the first quarter. Both teams haven't quite really clicked into their offensive rhythm. Well, we've got a legend in the live YouTube chat. Welcome to Manu Fotu. Because if the excellent name doesn't ring a bell, the father of Isaac Fotu, and once was a great professional rugby player in my home country in the United Kingdom, where Isaac Fotu was born in the city of York. Manu, big shout out to you, brother. Great to see you. Well, speaking of greatness, now Isaac Fotu subbing into the game, the New Zealand international. This was a part of the UTSUNOMIYA BREX team that won the second championship in 2022, defeating Yugi Togashi and the Chiba Jets in the final. Well, nice backdoor play in the end. Finishes. Already, BREX now with a 5-point lead. Fotu getting his first 2 points. Well, one thing that's been great about Isaac Fotu, you know, he's been very much more of a dominant scorer. And the thing with him is he's such a high IQ basketball player and a very unselfish one. Well, another turnover now. Here come the BREX. Takashima's going to finish, and all of a sudden, 7-point lead with 4:56 to go. Coach Mao having to call timeout. His team right now, they've got to learn how to take care of the basketball because the BREX are making the conversion rate. Every turnover quickly becomes fast break points. Well, welcome to Dapantol, Salamat Malam, Aku men chatak, aku men dribble, aku men jaga. Of course, welcome to all of our Indonesian viewers. Timeout's called. We will be back in 60 seconds. There's the turnover, and now there's the conversion into fast break buckets. Well, interesting. No Makoto Hiyajima tonight. You also saw Hinori Watanabe on the bench. He's been out with injury for quite a while, so... Well, there are 14 games left here in the regular season. The hopeful thing for BREX, they don't have any more injuries going into the playoffs. Last season, very heartbreaking, losing to the Chiba Jets in the quarterfinals. But what can Nagasaki build from this after calling the timeout? Time nearly expiring. Gavin Edwards only subbing into the game for the BREX. There's a kick out. There's a three. Well, they beat the shot clock, but nobody contesting for an offensive rebound. Ikaruga, one of the key players tonight to look out for. As AJ Edu also re-enter in play. Eagles got to make something happen. Final seconds. Edwards left wide open. Three is up. Three now makes it. A double-digit lead with just over 4 minutes. Oh, what a play there by the BREX. Effectively identifying the wide-open Gavin Edwards. What's another turnover? What is going on with Nagasaki here at the moment? Takashima finds Fotu. BREX not rushing anything. Fotu in the paint. Textbook post play, too big, too strong. And Isaac Fotu just too dominant. 4 points already for Isaac Fotu. The foul has been called, and that's going to be the second team foul already against the BREX. Nagasaki's already put UTSUNOMIYA into the penalty. This one's against Seiji Ikaruga. Well, welcome to DJM. Happy birthday to your brother, Tracy. Watching from Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, the story of AJ Edu is a magnificent one. He'll spend his time growing up in the United Kingdom, was born in Cyprus. Of course, has two magnificent parents. His younger brother currently playing at Ateneo University in the UAAP in the Philippines. AJ Edu spent a bit of time in the youth academy system with the Bristol Flyers, a team that plays professionally in the United Kingdom in the SLB. University of Toledo. But if there's one thing I'll say about AJ Edu, resilience. He's had to play through a lot of injuries. And he may be a great basketball player, but he's an even better human, I can tell you that. Well, only one free throw made. Still an 11-point lead currently here to the BREX. Fotu goes behind the back. And now Edwards goes to the bucket, and it's just simply too tough to handle. Well, I don't know what was better, the finish or the dime. BREX blowing this game away very early on here in the first quarter. Just over 3 minutes left. Cam Brantley built something, bumps, goes in, and still misses. But Gavin Edwards failing to take care of the rebounds. And now the three finally drops as Nagasaki finally get one to go with Udai Baba. 2:52 to go. I believe Zico Cardell, head coach of UTSUNOMIYA BREX, is going to call timeout. Welcome to Gerald Labunau watching from Macau. And welcome to Dylan watching from Phoenix, Arizona. And Dylan is a BREX fan. Well, there's the three by Udai Baba. Timeout called. We'll be back in just under 1 minute. I think Zico Cardinal did call that timeout, identifying that, they should have come up with a rebound with Gavin Edwards. And even though they still lead by 10, now they've made their first three-pointer through Udai Baba. I think he's just reassured his players, listen, this is not going to be a walk in the park. We've got to earn this win tonight. We may have won by 13 yesterday. If you are new to B.LEAGUE basketball, those clubs beat each other on weekends, play doubleheaders. They sometimes have games, well, they more than likely have games Wednesdays as well, but a foul's going to be, oh no. Wow, good defense. Well, Masaki Morikawa, that time just luring Seiji Ikaruga, who then, in the end, does turn it over. So Nagasaki have a chance to cut it down to single digits. Now we're under 10 here on the shot clock. Well, good hands again by Fotu. Another turnover here for Nagasaki. To extend that 10-point lead. Edwards made 1-3. Quarters up, no good. Fotu battles to the offensive board. Now, this is what I said in the pregame. This is always going to be a challenge tonight for Nagasaki VELCA. You've got to prevent the post-interior players. Isaac Fotu, Grant Jarrett, sometimes Gavin Edwards, and even Kosuke Takeuchi from getting second chance points. And that's going to be a second personal foul against Tanner Groves. BREX just went bigger as Grant Jarrett's going to re-enter play. Okoya Kawamata, who does feature for the Japanese national team, as mentioned, she's got a great name on X, Grande Mikey. I think he may have taken that influence from the school American cartoon Recess. The big character is named Big Mikey, but I don't know, I'd have to ask him that one. 5 points tonight for Isaac Fotu, because he's known for getting double-doubles. What an addition he was for the BREX in 2021. Remember, he joined them after they lost in the B-League Finals against Chiba Jets in 2021. Because he was teammates with Kai Tevz that year, they made a phenomenal playoff run, defeating the Jets in the quarterfinals, and then went and beat the Ryukyu Golden Kings in the Yokohama Arena. Baba now looking to penetrate. Finds Koya Kawamata. That's going to be a turnover. But that's much better from Nagasaki. The penetration by Baba, making the defense collapse. But you know, Koya Kawamata's got to do better there. He's got to secure possession. BREX patiently trying to build an offense. Takashima three, and again buries a three-pointer. And now indeed 15-point lead to the BREX. BREX, just like Galvac Tokyo, a team in search of a third B-League championship. They won the opening B-League championship back in 2017. They won the second one in 2022. Could they be B-League champions in 2025? As Jarrell Brantley hits down the mid-range. Brantley's got to be the X factor tonight for Nagasaki. Takashima just a little too careless, and that's going to be a turnover. Nagasaki retained possession. And that's great defense by Io Nagano. Well, Masaya Karimata, one of their leading scorers, the veteran player, 36 years young, has also subbed back in the game. Nagasaki can't build on this platform of just having one good offense. They've got to be consistent. Transition buckets, second chance points, anything to keep them in the game with the second best team here in the B-League. Another three goes flying. Well, it was a good look, but again, nobody crashing the boards. Karuga now. Defense goes under the screen. Can't finish. But this is the problem when you defend Isaac Fotu. I mean, Koya Kawamata's doing everything to try and box him out. But the thing is with Isaac Fotu, it's not the brute strength that he possesses. It's his ability. Now watch Fotu here. Now is there a pull there? Yeah, maybe, but it's going both ways. It could have gone either way there. Oh no, they have. Well, they called on Fotu. Well, my question was, and I'm not saying he didn't pull, but was there a pull by Koya Kawamata before Fotu pulled? Final seconds on the shot clock. Brantley, wide open, gotta make it, but again struggles. Tries another third attempt. Third time lucky for JB. Back down to a 10-point deficit. BREX will have the final play here in the first quarter. Turning the balls in the hands of Seiji Karuga. They want to wind this down. Ball screen with Isaac Fotu. Defense still runs under the screens. Offensive rebound. Edwards goes in, gets rejected. And as they say in Japanese, Brantley just said, sayonara. Well, that is the end of the first quarter, and we'll be back in just under 2 minutes. Dylan, your question, where am I commentating these games? Usually I commentate them from my house in London. Tonight, I'm in Da Nang, Vietnam. Well, we'll be back in just under 2 minutes.
ビッグ不動産、ジブラルター生命、ストローカル、フット不動産、メモリード、長崎バスグループ、真面目島 NIB、藤本グループ、NSS 長崎船舶装備株式会社、重工記念長崎病院、ホームホールディングスグループ、アンリアルスタジオ、NHI マニテック株式会社、神話コントロールズ、大新技研、文明堂総本店、長崎豊か、ソシオフューチャー株式会社、タイニーハートビール、サントリー、総工業株式会社、以上、プラチナパートナーのご紹介でした。
Welcome back, everybody. Live here in the second quarter at the Happiness Arena in Nagasaki, Japan. Tonight's B.LEAGUE matchup between our host, Nagasaki VELCA, and the visitors, the number 2 ranked team here in the B.LEAGUE, UTSUNOMIYA BREX. A very poor offense. Unai Baba felt a foul was coming, but Gavin Edwards, remember, those two were Olympic teammates back in 2021. Just during the COVID years, they played at the Ariake Coliseum in front of no fans. Jarrett now kicks out. Fotu fires a 3, almost got it. And I've been saying he's got to take more of those. He's got a good release. And Nagasaki's got to find more fluidity. I mean, not enough ball screens here in their offense. But Bradley now looking for the ISO. Made his last 3, makes another one, and now it's down to single digits. Well, he ended the first quarter with a big 3, a block, and now he begins the second quarter with a triple. You kind of get the feeling for Nagasaki to compete against UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Bradley's got to have maybe 30 points tonight. Fotu trying to repay the favor, and that's not, oh no, excuse me, Gavin Edwards. Well, Gavin Edwards, high release, tough to defend, but there's another Nagasaki turnover, number 5 of the game. Yusuke Endo draws a foul, and it's going to be on the ground, and a sideline ball coming up to the BREX. Foul's called against number 4, Masaya Karimata. I believe AJ Edu may have just subbed back in the game. Fotu goes baseline. Foul's going to be called against AJ Edu. That's going to be foul number 2. Second post interior play of the Nagasaki VELCA along with Tanner Groves to pick up the second foul. It goes for the old school Shaquille-esque spin out baseline in the block. Because you don't find many back to the basket post players these days. I mean, you watch the NBA, centers are taking a lot of 3-pointers. Well, try to find Grant Jarrett, but there's a bailout foul because had they not committed that foul, that's going to be a turnover. And already, Masaya Karimata, 3 fouls. And we haven't even played 2 minutes here in the second quarter. So the veteran's going to have to go to the bench.
Substitution number 9,
Gerald looking for a handoff. 22-year-old Atsuyo Ogawa back in the lineup. There's a penetration, but he turns it over. And that's going to go back to Nagasaki VELCA. Good defense by AJ Edu. Well, you remember AJ Edu at the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup, that opening game the Philippines had against the Dominican Republic. He had to come off the bench and defend two-time NBA All-Star Karl-Anthony Towns. And Kat said at the end of the game, AJ Edu made him a better international basketball player. Strong words from a very big-time player. Three threes made tonight for the BREX. One of those came for Kosuke Takeuchi. But now Newbill finds Jared. Every Nagasaki player ready for a double team. Better defense. Great rebound by Brantley, but what can the VELCA build? Remember, they lost yesterday to the BREX by 13 here at home. Oh, nice dime, but again, almost fumbles it. As a float, and that cuts it down to a 5-point deficit. Nagasaki, who trail by as many as 10, now find themselves within 2 potentially. Well, BREX needs to kind of reassert themselves. Google penetrates, avoids a block. Another miss. Brantley comes up with it. Nagasaki slowly but surely growing in confidence through the defense. But can they convert something? Brantley's made 2 threes. Baseline. The problem with Brantley taking so many threes, nobody goes in for offensive rebounds. And what a rejection! Another time. Sayonara ayasu minasai. Chamata, goodbye. Well, here's a team that wants to win, but they've got to stop turning over. Now it's Ogawa goes in. He finishes under intense pressure. And this is where the young 22-year-old really has matured this season. Baba unable to go for Baba Boom. Four minutes gone here in the second quarter. Nagasaki still down by 7. A good defense by Takeuchi. But Brantley goes in with better offense. 8 points tonight for Jerome Brantley. Well, he may need to score 30 for them to be competitive, but he's going to need some help tonight. Ogawa trying to lose a defense under the bull screen. But now they go to Newbill. Final seconds. Wide open 3 for Grant Jarrett, and made that 3, number 4 for the BREX. Well, they made 13 last night when they defeated Nagasaki. Is that going to be the key thing that separates these two teams? If so, Nagasaki, they've got to make the perimeter defense more tight. Baba goes to one. He responds, and both teams exchanging 3-pointers. Here on the Nagasaki Stock Exchange market, the question is, who's going to have the higher interest rate at the end? Well, Newbill will try a 3. Not going to go. Is that who's able to save this one in bound? Nagasaki potentially looking to cut it down to a 1-possession game. Baba pump fakes. Draws the foul. He'll go to the free throw line. Foul called against DJ Newbill as he tries to protest his innocence, but you can see the replay of that one. I mean, it does look like through the pump fake where DJ Newbill commits, Udai Baba's always got the advantage. So any contact at that point, there, right there. I mean, it could have gone either way, but I'm going to have to agree with the referee on this. So Newbill's going to go to the bench. Well, it's actually going to be a timeout. And again, we'll be back within 60 seconds. We're live here at the Happiness Arena. B.LEAGUE Basketball. Nagasaki VELCA, our host, trailing by 5 to the UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Well, welcome back, everybody. We're live here at Nagasaki's Happiness Arena here in Japan for the B.LEAGUE matchup between the BREX and the VELCA. Currently, BREX holding on to a 5-point slender lead. They have led by as many as 10, but it will be free throws coming up for Baba. Well, interesting question by Dylan. Why hasn't a clear part foul? The player had a straightaway run to the basket that was interfered with. No defenders in front. I think he's talking about the Seiji Ikaruga play. Not necessarily, because when Ikaruga... Oh, no, you're talking about Yusuke Endo. One of those two, I believe it was. But there were two defenders back, and it, didn't necessarily come from behind. I think there's a genuine attempt to go for the ball, but that's a good question. And then Angela Remiendo says, oh, wow, an English commentator. Well, somebody got sick, and they called me up from the soccer department. Well, again, our thoughts, our prayers, of course, go to the family of Kevin Bracewell. A great coach, was a great player back in his day, Kevin Bracewell. Featured for some very good teams in European basketball. Played for one CSP Limoges, a top team in French hoops. And, of course, his legacy, not only on the court, but off the court, has affected so many people. Well, first free throw made by Baba. The player did spend a lot of time playing in the Australian NBL. Of course, one accolade he has that many players in the B-League don't have. Alex Kirk was his teammate when they played Real Tokyo. They won the former FIBA Asia Champions Cup in 2018. Now a bit of full-court pressure. Potentially a one-possession game, but BREX do have possession. Goes in with a floater. That's not going to go, but Bradley, well, it's actually AJ Edo. No, Bradley unable to get the rebound. So shout out to Tennis Freak and congratulations. Use the money wisely, my friend. I'm no financial expert, but congratulations. Now we're under 4.5. People still relatively quiet in this game. One of those players, confidence does come from the perimeter. So Grind Jerry made his last one. Well, great job by Kosuke Takeuchi, but he keeps it alive. 40 years young, saving it. But the three still doesn't go for DJ Newbill. Well, they can cut it down to 1 point. Mid-range, simply automatic by Baba Boom. You may remember him playing for Japan at the Paris Olympics this summer. And hopefully we'll see him this summer play for head coach Tom Avas in Akatsuki, Japan at the 2025 FIBA Asia Cup. No problem, Tennis Freak. Shout out to you, my guy. Congratulations on your win insight. It must be great. My last name is Bet, but I don't gamble. It's not in my name to do so. While Fotu now, wide open. Edwards has made 1 3. Misses last, but he buries this one, and another former Japanese Olympic player. Remember, in international basketball, you're allowed one naturalized player. Gavin Edwards featured for Japan at the Tokyo Olympics. Hasn't played for the national team since. That three-pointer makes it a two-possession ball game. Tries to penetrate, goes in under the bucket. But one thing you've got to appreciate about the coaching staff, and this is exactly what the late, great Kevin Bracewell did along with Zico Coronel. Defensively, they've equipped this team. Anytime a team makes a penetration to paint, everybody, post interior, backcourt, they collapse. So 1.7 left on the shot clock. Head coach Maor is going to call timeout, and we'll be back in just under 60 seconds. Oh, Tennis Freak, hell no. I don't take other commentators. Mike Breen is one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest. That's his go-to. I don't have a go-to. I'm like Mama. You love me or hate me. Well, the timeout's called. When we get back, it will be 1.7 left on the shot clock.
Well,
Well, the good thing for the BREX on this inbound play, they do have fouls to give. Nagasaki have no fouls at 3:15. Ideally, you don't really want to foul here because then you're going to either send them to the free throw line or give them a reset of 14. United Baba inbounds. Well, uncontested three in the corner. Well, they're not going to get a better look than that. That's for sure. You got to make those threes. UTSUNOMIYA BREX's defense that time very momentarily just got caught napping. Fotu being heavily defended. But now they go to DJ Newbill. Time winding down. We're going to have to shoot this. He doesn't even look at the bucket. That's not going to count. Not a great offense. Hi, Uncle Lester Cam. Hello. Well, Baba goes for another three. That's going to be an out-of-bounds violation going over the top of the backboard. So 2:29 to go. Still a two-possession lead. Well, this is where Nagasaki, they need to find more intangible ways to score. If the offense doesn't click, it's a very open offense, which is good in some ways, but against a very good defensive team like the BREX, it can go for you against you, so you've got to go for second chance points. Another three by Fotu. Well, it looked good, it was on target, but there are the second chance points I said. Pre-game, I mentioned this. One battle they're going to have against UTSUNOMIYA BREX is keeping them off the offensive boards. Bradley, nice penetration, now goes up to 10 points. First play for the VELCA to be in double figures. Well, here comes Ikaruga. Finds Fotu. Rolls its way out. And this time Nagasaki keeping UTSUNOMIYA BREX away from second chance opportunities. Well, again, Bradley right now going on a personal 4-0 run with over 90 seconds to go here in the first half. A blocking foul is going to be called. So that's going to be free throws coming up for Isaac Fotu. Well, the foul was called on Hayato Yamaguchi. It's not necessarily a blocking foul, it's just a shove, I guess.
Number 4,
Oh, very interesting change. Nagasaki bringing back in Masaya Karimatsu. He picked up 3 fouls in the first minute of the second quarter. Because he's a very valuable player to this team. One of their top scorers, just averaging 18 points per game. There's Isaac Fotu, no problem from the charity stripe. Second one getting the shooter's roll. 1:26 to go here in the second quarter. The one area BREX has definitely dominated. The rebounds have gone in their favor. More offensive boards have been a key part in this game. Nagasaki, another open three. But now they get another chance. Bradley goes from no man's land. Well, Nagasaki need to learn from yesterday when they lost to UTSUNOMIYA BREX by 13. You cannot live and die from the three-point line, especially against the number 2 ranked team here in the B-League. Now DJ. Well, it's going to be a careless turnover. Nagasaki can cut it down to 2 points, and they convert the turnover into fast break buckets. And that potentially could be a 2-for-1 for Nagasaki, as now Zico Coronel is going to call timeout. And BREX will talk it over. Tennis Freak, bro, I'd love to help you, but unfortunately I can't. My job is just to narrate the story. I apologize if I'm boring. I apologize if I'm English. But I can't help you on that one, bro. Well, look at this finish in transition. Hayato Yamaguchi. And that's one way to make the conversion count. Well, as mentioned, if Nagasaki can get one more stop, they'll get the final play of the first half where potentially they could either tie it up or take the lead. We'll be back in just under 30 seconds. Well, welcome back, everybody. We're live here at the Happiness Arena in Nagasaki, Japan. This is B.LEAGUE basketball. The number 2 team ranked here in total in the B.LEAGUE. Remember, 3 conferences, top 2 teams in each conference automatically qualify for the playoffs, while final 2 playoff spots go to teams with the best records outside the top 2. Well, again, thank you to all the nice comments from everybody and to YouTube user Extinct. Well, I'm a great poker player. I play my cards close to my chest. I play for jelly beans, not for coins. Well, nice take by DJ Newbill. Somebody looking to lost and found. No help side defense anywhere to be seen. But the one positive note here for Nagasaki, they can get the final bucket here in the first half. They want to put the ball in the hands of this man, Yudai Baba. 6 seconds now for Baba Boom. Pump fakes, mid-range, goes in, buries it, and that keeps it a 1 possession. And now Newbill double clutches, and that's not going to come to anything. Well, basketball fans, thank you for joining us here in the first half. We have 2 more quarters coming up. We're going to have a 15-minute break. If you are watching this game, please let us know where in the world you're watching this game and which team you're supporting so we can give you a shout-out. Josh Bad calling this one live. It's halftime. We'll see you for the second half.
Introducing Nagasaki VELCA's partners for the 2024-25 season. Premium partners. Japanet Holdings. B.LEAGUE Light. 株式会社グリーンマウス。88 Official Partners. You can add. プロロジス。連合。会社王長崎。松藤グループ。富士機材株式会社。再開再生。戸田建設。長崎トヨタ。日本ベネックス。ニコニコのり株式会社。大木成功グループ。K&B ホールディングス。医療法人形成会。林金石油株式会社。英川建設。ユニフォームサプライヤー。ユーマウス。そして本日のゲームパートナー、戸田建設。Thank you very much。その他にも多くのパートナーの皆様にご支援いただいています。以上、2024-25 シーズン長崎VELCAパートナーズのご紹介でした。さあ、ここからはルカ&ベルシーのスペシャルパフォーマンス。ルカの可愛さにハートをつかまれた方もぜひぜひ今ベルカ公式からルカに気を Thank you! 皆様、大型機能にご注目ください。
で骨組みができて、そのセンターサークルのところで写真撮ったので、そのワクワクを今でもすごい覚えてて、ここでプレーさせてもらってるのは幸せなことですし、もっともっとここで皆さんに感動を与えれるように頑張りたいなと思います。これからもよろしくお願いします。
このような素敵なアリーナでプレーできることを選手としてすごく感謝してます。毎試合毎試合やれるというところはすごいあります。ぜひよろしくお願いします。僕たちも頑張ります。
Thank you for the amazing home, amazing facility, amazing clubhouse, and amazing arena. We're looking forward to playing great basketball in this house. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
本日のゲームパートナー、小田建設株式会社取締役執行役員副社長山崎俊弘様よりご挨拶いただきます。
皆さん、小田建設の今副社長をしております山崎と申します。このハピネスアリーナ作らせてもらいました。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。我々小田建設はですね、全国でいろいろ仕事をしておりますけれども、この長崎の地ではたくさんの仕事をさせていただいております。本当にありがとうございます。ブースターの皆さん、盛り上がってますか？長崎ベルガー、宇都宮ブレックスはどこだっけ？こちら。ありがとうございます。前半、私も初めて、この試合を見させていただいて非常に興奮しております。ありがとうございます。はい。一つだけちょっとPR をさせていただきたくてまいりました。戸田建設、最近東京駅の八重洲口に新本社ビルを作りまして、で、ついこの間までですね、鬼滅の刃柱展やっておりました。ご存知ですかね。でもう一つあります。もう一つあります。つい最近始まった、私あまり知らないのでちょっとメモしてきたんですけど、絵本作家の吉武慎介さんかもしれない展っていうのをやってるんですよね。お父さんお母さんご存知ですよね。かもしれない展やっております。ぜひ東京にお越しの際には、お越しいただければと思います。戸田建設の本社ビルでやっております。よろしくお願いします。すいません、もう一点だけ。私どもですね、長崎五島列島で浮体式風車を作っております。お願いします。これからもですね、こういう再エネ関係をですね、頑張っていきたいと思いますし、この長崎の地をどんどん盛り上げていきたいと思っておりますので、皆さんよろしくお願いします。
山崎副社長、ありがとうございました。
後半もよろしくお願いします。ありがとう。
それではここでファンクラブ会員限定抽選会の当選者を発表いたします。1等選手3位にベースボールシャツ当選された方はこちら00753 04584 04648 04766 04987 16401 16455 20334 23340 23765 24260 25022 25169以上13名の皆さんです。おめでとうございます。2等と4等に当選された皆様は長崎ベルカの公式アプリで発表しております。またメールもお送りしておりますのでご確認ください。商品は場外ファンクラブブースでお渡ししますのでお立ち寄りください。
それではここで B リーグパートナーズをご紹介いたします。 B リーグパートナーソフトバンク、 B リーグタイトルパートナーリソナグループ、 B リーグリノベーションパートナーインクロニアホールディングス、 B リーグパートナーズ日本郵便、 G ショック、日本生命、 B リーグサポーティングカンパニーズ、ソニーミュージックエンタテインメント、モルテン、朝日新聞、日本経済新聞社、大塚製薬、野村工芸社、EY ジャパン、エニタイムフィットネス、マーシャルデザイン、ストラリク、 EIS、 スポーツデポ、ロックアイス、 B リーグサプライヤーアガストリア、 B リーグコミュニケーションパートナーラインヤフー、 B リーグスポーツ振興パートナースポーツくじウィナー。以上 B リーグパートナーズのご紹介でした。日頃のご支援誠にありがとうございます。
求められるインフラは時代で変わる。求められるインフラは地域で変わる。本当に必要なインフラを提供し続けたい。その道のりは険しく果てしない。それでも私たちは地域の未来へパスをつなぎたい。
全試合見られるのはバスケットライブだけ。アリーナに行けなくてもいつでもどこでもバスケ観戦。そこがあなたのアリーナだ。月額たったの550円。シーズン通して見るなら2ヶ月分もお得な年額プラン。今すぐダウンロード。
ご来場の皆様にご案内です。皆様、今年もやってきました B.LEAGUE Mascot of the Year 2024-25 シーズン。ルカ、かわいいねって言われるけどまだまだ上位には届かないと悩むルカが もっと皆様に愛されるルカを目指して熱い選挙活動に挑みます。ベルカの公式アプリから投票できますので、毎日ルカに清き一票をお願いします。そして今節の一押しグッズはこちら。昨シーズンも大好評だった馬場選手のパパブーグッズ。馬場選手のスピードとダイナミックさをイメージしたデザインです。場外ポップアップブース、2階コンコース、グッズブース、スタジアムシティノース3階フラッグシップストアで販売しております。ぜひお買い求めください。ただいま4月のホームゲームのチケットを販売しております。4月26、27、ホーム最終節の京都戦は残りわずか。4月16、滋賀戦、4月23、佐賀戦はまだお席に余裕がございます。今シーズン、ホームゲームはあと4試合。最後まで会場で熱いご声援をよろしくお願いします。来週末、4月5日、6日はここハピネスアリーナでスーパーパブリックビューイング B.LEAGUE を開催いたします。4月5日はベルカのアウェー3連戦を、4月6日はベルカの3連戦、そしてリファーレン長崎の今治戦のダブルヘッダーをお楽しみいただけます。試合の戦況に合わせてマスが開くバスケビンゴ大会やマニアックな問題に挑むベルカクイズ大会など、ベルカの試合観戦以外にもお楽しみいただけるコンテンツを用意しております。
Welcome back, everybody. We're live here in Nagasaki, Japan for tonight's game here in the Japanese B.LEAGUE between our hosts, Nagasaki VELCA, and the visitors, UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Well, Nagasaki would probably have to win their remaining 14 games if they ought to make a playoff run, but even then it would prove to be impossible, as they're currently 11 victories right behind the wild card that would see them either go into 7th or 8th in the B.LEAGUE playoffs. While BREX, on the other hand, posting the second best record here in the B.LEAGUE, ranked number 1 in the Eastern Conference. Well, remember, the B.LEAGUE is split between 3 conferences, East, Central, and West. Top 2 teams in each conference will automatically qualify for the playoffs, while the final 2 playoff spots will go to teams with the best records outside the playoffs. Well, look at that behind-the-back pass by New Zealand international Isaac Fotu, finding, well, he's actually a Japanese national team player, or was at least, Gavin Edwards. Jarrell Bradley at the moment leading the way here for Nagasaki VELCA, but they need other players to step in and step up. They only trail by 2 points. Remember, these teams did meet yesterday, and it was the BREX who left with a 13-point win. Well, the BREX, like Alvak Tokyo, the only 2 teams who have won 2 B.LEAGUE championships. The Japanese B.LEAGUE was inaugurated in 2016-17. Utsunomiya at that time were known as the prefecture name Tochigi BREX, defeating Kawasaki Brave Thunders in the finals. When the second B.LEAGUE championship came in 2022, when Isaac Fotu along with Makoto Hiyajima led them to the finals, defeating Ruku Golden Kings. And while they had one of the best records in the B.LEAGUE last season, they were eliminated in the quarterfinals by Yuki Togashi and the Chiba Jets. But there's definitely life. There's definitely something going here for the Nagasaki VELCA. Defensively, they tightened things up in the second quarter. And while they were able to hit a few three-pointers down, I felt especially transition buckets came into favor. But here's where they've shown their frailties. That time, DJ Newbill getting to the bucket and no help side defense. Well, here was the final shot of the first half from Yudai Baba, Japanese national team player. Well, we're going to take a look at some of the key stats here from the first half. We're 2 minutes away from coming back to this game. Well, the BREX have been perfect from the free throw line, but only 10 free throws taken between these 2 teams. And Nagasaki, although they are winning the rebound count, 5 offensive boards have been crucial for the BREX. They're one of the best teams here in the B.LEAGUE when it comes to second chance points. But 10 turnovers too many. That has been a worrying sign, but we saw a lot of that in the early stages of the first quarter. Well, 9 3-point field goals made between these 2 teams, 5 of them coming from the BREX. But I feel tonight, if Nagasaki can keep Utsunomiya BREX off the offensive rebound, then I feel they have a chance of winning. Well, Jarrell Brantley currently with 14 points. AJ Edu already 7 rebounds. Well, there's Gavin Edwards leading the way for the BREX. Well, traditionally, you can see there DJ Newbill with 3 assists. He is their go-to player. And along with Matt Bonds, who is a former Nagasaki player, now playing for Osaka Vesa, I'm sure those two will be in the argument, the shout by the end of the season to find out who will be the 2024-25 B-League's most valuable player. Come on, Tennis Freak. You got to be a little bit more creative than that, my guy. Come on, man. I know you're better than that. You can think of something better than that. Come on. Well, the thing here for Nagasaki VELCA, they've got to ensure it doesn't become a one-man show. They just cannot rely only on Jarrell Brantley. Well, the key player matchup tonight, Seiji Ukaroga. Tonight going up against Io Nagano, who did transfer from Niigata Albirex, who were in the 2nd division last season, ended up getting relegated to the 3rd tier of Japanese basketball in B3. Both players scoreless. The only thing separates, 1 assist going tonight for Nagano. There's Seiji Ikaruga. Well, the BREX, like most teams in the B-League, but specifically them, they've kept the bulk of those players who did win the B-League championship in 2022.
Well, hola, bienvenidos a mi amigo Iván Fernández de Argentina. Es un gran aficionado de Boca Juniors. Ok, vamos. Yo soy un aficionado de San Lorenzo de Magro. Soy inglés, me encanta el fútbol.
Well, looks like very much an unchanged starting 5 tonight here for the BREX here in the second half. Kosuke Takeuchi. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this man, 19 years ago, he was playing for the Japanese national team in the 2006 FIBA Basketball World Cup in Saitama, Japan. And well, let's just say, one game he had the experience of defending then NBA most valuable player, Dirk Nowitzki. Welcome back, everybody. We're live here at the Happiness Arena. Let's get this one back underway. BREX leading by 2 in the first possession. Well, Newbill will struggle from the three-point line, making number 6 now for the BREX. And if he gets cooking, well, it's going to be a problem for Nagasaki. Early moments in the third quarter are really going to dictate how this game goes for these two teams. Brantley now up against Takeuchi. Foul's going to be called on the ground. No, it's a foul against Nagasaki. Well, that's incredible. Well, that's a tough one for sure. Well, BREX with a chance to further extend their lead. They've led by as many as 10 so far here in the first quarter. One more pass. Endo wide open. Another offensive board. There's number 7 tonight for UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Well, Takeuchi's made 1 3, but that's not going to fall. But this time, AJ Edu preventing BREX from getting second chance points. Foul's going to be called against 22-year-old Atsuyo Ogawa, so AJ Edu will go back to the free throw line. Well, that's a good foul to give away because, you know, AJ Edu, more than ever, if you ever see him play for the Philippine national team, he does usually get those kind of shots. But, of course, Edu came to the B-League last year when he signed with Toyama Grouses. He had to sustain a lot of injuries, which, unfortunately, this young man, he's a terrific player. And don't ask me, just ask one Karl Anthony Towns when he had to defend him at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. But Edu, as I said in the first half, resilience is the one word that comes to mind. He's tough as nails, played through a lot of injuries at such a young age, makes both free throws. Now 3 for 4 from the free throw line tonight for AJ Edu. Come on, Uncle Lester Cam. I'm too intelligent, baby. I'm way too intelligent. Well, there's a take by the young 22-year-old who did get a good starting call tonight from head coach Zico Coronel, but failing on that attempt. 3-point deficit. Brantley got it by Takeuchi. Looking for three, number 3. It's up, and he ties the game up at 38 apiece. Nagasaki, although they lost by 13, showing that they've come ready to play tonight. Well, it was only in the first quarter when it became a calamity where they would turn the ball over too much, but now they leave Endo wide open. 3 in the corner, still can't convert. And now Nagasaki can take the lead. Well, any bucket will give them the lead tonight. First time they had the lead in this game is on the opening play. Brantley got it by the young 22-year-old. Now goes for step back, mid-range, and this guy at the moment is becoming automatic with 19 points. Boom! I'm not taking Mike Breen's quote. I'm not doing it. That's a sin for any commentator. You respect the great Mike Breen. BREX now trailing for the second time. Finds Brantley, has made 1-3 tonight, but unable to convert. Well, Takeuchi surely, yeah, it's going to get called for the offensive foul. Well, I think you could see that being called from a mile away, but I mean, he did a magnificent job of securing the offensive rebound, but I think he just took out his former national teammate. Well, national team teammate, excuse me. Coach Maor of Israel, of course, now first season here in the B-League, done a very good job. And, you know, it's always tough for rookie coaches. You look at Yokohama, B-Course says they have the Finnish national team coach, who in my mind is one of the best national, one of the best in international hoops. But Yokohama, of course, due to the departure of Yuki Kawamura, now in the NBA and the G League with the Grizzlies. Edu connects, goes in, can't finish. And BREX survive. Again, they go into the screen, and Ogawa makes them pay. Well, only 4 years ago, this man probably took his SATs, his APs, his IB, whatever education he was on, but now he buries a three-pointer and regains the lead for the BREX. 1 point lead still separates. Well, that case there, that's a good penetration, but in the corner, you've got a flash free throw line extended. Masaya Kanimata was in the corner. You've got to give a better option, especially when it's a great take by Hayato Yamaguchi. You can't afford to be static. You've got to do better. Final seconds. Brantley's got a hot hand. Another kick out. Got to shoot this one. Shot clock beats it. And again, boom. Well, it's actually Baba Boom. Well, Yudai Baba, 14 points. Locally known by Japanese fans with his high-flying dunks as Baba Boom. That's the only time you're going to hear me say, oh no, I said boom, it's not bang. Oh no, I said bang. And I take by Newbill, gets denied, and sayonara. One more time by AJ Edu. Nagasaki now looking to extend their lead. Brantley, corner, Yamaguchi. Just didn't get the right angle, but disappointingly, nobody going in for an offensive rebound. And BREX surviving. Second best team here in the B-League. Eagles made 1-3, but a great job. That is 40 years young, beating the young post-interior players like AJ Edu to offensive boards. But this is a learning experience for AJ Edu. And unfortunately, that's his third personal foul. Nagasaki's going to need him come the long stretch of this game in the fourth quarter. Well, this should provide some stability here in the front court for the BREX. New Zealand international Isaac Foch, who's had a great game so far in the first half, but now if you are unaware of this man, Kazuki Takeuchi, I mentioned him in the 2006 FIBA Basketball World Cup, defending Dirk Nowitzki. Actually has a twin brother that plays for Osaka Avesa, Joji Takeuchi. Because they have been fantastic, marvelous ambassadors for Japanese basketball across 2 decades, excuse me. Second free throw good. Regains the lead for the BREX. 10 is free. Maybe Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew. Yeah, that's my go-to. I grew up in the USA, so. 10 now on the shot clock for Nagasaki. Well, Brantley looking for an ISO. Good defense by Gavin Edwards. Brantley step back. Well, that hits the front iron. See, now this is where Nagasaki, the intangibles have got to come into place if they want to lead with a victory. You've got to contest for offensive boards. Second chance points are imperative. Now we're under 10 on the shot clock. Hugo looking for an ISO. Now gets caught in double team. He's got to get this one out. Finds Ogawa. Made his last three and again sinks another one. Well, 8 points tonight, but I want to know what he got on his SAT scores a few years ago. As now he extends it to a 2-possession lead. A timeout's going to be called by Nagasaki VELCA. We will be back in under 16 seconds. Well, you are potentially looking at the future face of the backcourt of the Japanese national team, Atsuya Ogawa. He's only 22 years old. Welcome back, everybody. 4:34 to go here in the third quarter, live at the Happiness Arena. B.LEAGUE basketball live here in Japan. We're currently Nagasaki VELCA, our host team, who did lose by 13 to the BREX, now trail by 4. Two crucial three-pointers coming from Atsuya Ogawa has turned the tide. Nagasaki VELCA led by 19 points from Jarrell Brantley, but only 5 tonight from that man, who is in contention to win the B.LEAGUE's Most Valuable Player of the Year award. Well, I've just been asked, what is my favorite Japanese dish? Oh, that's tough. Actually, I was in Japan 2 years ago commentating the East Asia Super League at UTSUNOMIYA's arena. Then I went to the Okinawa arena. Okinawa is a great place. You got to go there. Got a nice, like, sticky toffee pudding called... No, not sticky toffee. It's... natto. Natto. Look up natto online. It's quite nice to have in the morning. But anything from sashimi to... You know, any kind of local dish. I think all Japanese food's great. Well, Dylan's made a good point. UTSUNOMIYA has had a really bad scoring droughts. Need more consistency. I agree with you. But again, you've got to take into consideration they're playoff bound. Even though we have 14 games left in the regular season, they'll be on the playoffs. The thing for them is chasing San Antonio Phoenix, who have one more victory than them. Now, they did play San Antonio Phoenix a week ago. Well, that man on the right, does anybody know who that man on the right was? That's Yuta Tabuse. Because the man on the left is their star shooting guard, Makoto Hiyajima, and the current defending B.LEAGUE All-Star three-point champion. But the man on the right, Yuta Tabuse, the first ever Japanese-born player to play in the NBA. Not the first ever Japanese player. The first ever Japanese NBA player was Wat Misaka. Of course, an American-born Japanese man who played in the 1940s from Utah, but Yuta Tabuse on the right played a few games with Steve Nash at the Phoenix Suns in 2004-2005. Seiji Kuroga coming back into the game, just having a few words with Shinji Takashima. So young Atsuya Ogawa goes to the bench, sitting right next to Yusuke Endo. Well, two shooters right next to each other on the bench. The sensei and the gakushin. The teacher and the student, as I like to call it. BREX displaying a little bit of full court pressure. Nagasaki. They've got to find some rhythm here, down by 4. Obama trying to orchestrate the offense. Uncle Lester Cam at Josh Bet 90. Bet with a double T. Offensive rebound, still no good. Second chance points, got a battle, but now they make it count. Well, Tanner Groves picked up 2 fouls in the first half, and that's the aggression they need from him. I think another foul is going to be called in. Is it a turnover? I'm not quite sure. I think that's, yeah, turnover. Coach Zico Cornell done a magnificent job with this group. It's the unfortunate events that did hit the late great Kevin Brazel, the head coach, the former head coach, I should say, with all respect, and our thoughts and prayers go to his family. But still, this BREX team remains united. Second foul against DJ Newbill. Well, that's intelligent play by Hayato Yamaguchi because he just catches Newbill off guard. It's only the second team foul for the BREX. 3:43 to go here in the third quarter. Brantley finds Baba. They go pick and pop, but the defense doesn't need to move too much, and that's going to be a 24-second violation. Again, a very poor offense coming from Nagasaki VELCA, but that ball screen with Brantley and Baba, I mean, it was more of a dribble handoff, but you know, you've got to make the defense shift, make them switch, make the move, but it looked like it was a ghost screen more than anything, but now a change coming in. Number 4, 36 years young, Masaya Karimata. He did pick up 3 fouls in the second quarter. Now we're into 3.5 here in the third quarter. Foul called on the ground. It's going to be number 3 against Tanner Groves. And that is the experience you get from Isaac Fotu. Anytime you get him in the double block, I mean, he is just so intelligent at sealing off any post interior defense. At that point, you've got to foul him, because then it becomes a back-to-the-basket defense play. Baseline possession coming up here for the BREX. BREX still lead by 2. Well, Brantley with the steal. Nagasaki could have numbers. Brantley bumps, goes in. Too big, too strong. And JAB is just too good. 21 points, leading the way tonight in this game. And an illegal screen is going to be called against Gavin Edwards. UTSUNOMIYA BREX may need to call timeout with 3:07 because they are choking under intense pressure. But this is a great test for a team chasing their 3rd B.LEAGUE championship. Well, they've got to stay in this game mentally. No doubt Nagasaki flying on the wave of momentum from Jarrell Brantley, also from this home crowd. Remember, these two teams met yesterday. That's how the B.LEAGUE format goes. Teams will play each other in a doubleheader on the weekends, but then we'll have a single game on Wednesday. Baba, deep 3, goes in. And maybe an overzealous attempt by Udai Baba. A nice take by Newbill. And another offensive foul. Incredible. And I think if we see the replay, unfortunately for DJ Newbill, it's when he tries to step through, and that's going to be foul number 4. So I would imagine he's going to go to the bench now because, you know, their best players had a quiet game tonight. But they're going to need him because one thing about DJ, the kind of player who can turn it on and off when he wants. It's a tough one if you look at the replay because, you know, Newbill doesn't really connect with the elbow. It's kind of when he has the ball he makes contact, and at that point it becomes very subjective. Very tough decision to make. Well, another foul is going to be called against Gavin Edwards, so free throws coming up for Nagasaki VELCA. Well, no, it's not on Edwards. My apologies. It's on Shinji Takashima. It's only his first personal foul. But with 2:32 to go, Nagasaki do have 2 fouls to give. But any foul against BREX, VELCA will go to the free throw line. Uday Baba now 30 years of age, currently in the prime of his career. Of course, made headlines when he left the Australian NBL, when he was going back and forth between the G League and the NBL. Of course, returning to the B-League, the last time he played in the B-League was with Alvac Tokyo. That was back in 2019. Second one good. Newbill still in the game, goes in, and that is what you know about DJ Newbill. Coast to coast, no defense here at the Happiness Arena was going to stop him. An incredible steal with 4 fouls. They keep him on the floor, but that goes to show just how important he is. Bradley now defended by Edwards, but they go for another 3 in the corner. The question with Nagasaki, they need a few more ball screens in their offense. You got to make the BREX defense shift, but BREX can now put the punishment against them. Ikaruga now tries to go in, bit of contact, can't get it. Gets his own rebound. Fotu down to Edwards. Gets caught a double team, and that's going to be foul number 4 against Tanner Groves. So 2 players in the game, 1 foul away from getting fouled out. It's a foul, no doubt about it. I mean, there's no arguments for me whatsoever. Well, AJ Edu having to come back in the mix-up, and this is where they're going to need him. Remember, he also has 3 fouls. So in the final 90 seconds, he can't afford to pick up a 4th one. D3 by Takashima, another offensive board. 7 here on the shot clock. DJ got to make a move. Finds Fotu. Well, Fotu getting called for a traveling violation, but we're going to have to see the replay of that one. Well, Uncle Lester Cam has made a very good point on the YouTube chat. Not an empty seat. Let me tell you something about B-League basketball. This league was created in the formation of 2 former leagues for the 2016-17 season. And the exponential growth of Japanese basketball has risen at such a phenomenal rate. And here's the thing. Some of the fans in the building have made the long journey from Utsunomiya. Every B-League game, never an empty seat, always traveling fans. Brantley now gets on the double team. Edu offensive board. Foul's going to be called, so another trip to the free throw line for Nagasaki VELCA. Fouls on Seiji Ikaruga. AJ Edu, 3 out of 4 tonight from the charity stripe. Can give Nagasaki a 2-point lead. Well, for all the NCAA March Madness fanatics watching this game live, AJ Edu, born in Cyprus, grew up in the United Kingdom. Also played at the NCAA program at Toledo University in Ohio as he makes the first free throw. Well, he's been great for the free throw line tonight. 5 out of 6. 2-point lead to Nagasaki VELCA. And those free throws potentially could be a 2 for 1. If Nagasaki can get a stop here, they do have 1 foul to give. Well, Gavin Edwards gets around the defense. Bradley almost gets a hand to it. But here comes Newbill. Step back between the legs. 3 is up. The BREX continue to battle for rebounds, but Jarrell Bradley saves that one for going out of bounds. So possession going back to Nagasaki with 23.4. The shot clock will be turned off.
Number 22, Rose.
To the guy Johan on the live YouTube chat, there's a website called www.getalife.com. Well, final play coming up for Nagasaki. A chance to extend to potentially a 2-possession lead. BREX no fouls to give. They don't want to send Nagasaki to the free throw line. Well, they're going to put the ball in the hands of Yudai Baba. Remember, Tanner Gross still in the game with 4 fouls. Brantley facing up here against Gavin Edwards. Goes baseline, bumps it again, simply showing the brute force. That is bully basketball. Almost made that one. Well, that is the end of the third quarter. Well, indeed it is. Nagasaki have turned this game around. They were down by 2 points at the beginning of the second half. Now we go into the final 10, and they have a 2-possession lead. Well, we'll be back in just under 2 minutes. What a game we have here tonight at the Happiness Arena in Nagasaki, Japan. The VELCA lead against the second-best team in the B-League, UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Welcome everybody live here on B.LEAGUE International. We're live here in the city of Nagasaki, Japan. B.LEAGUE basketball. We're currently our host, Nagasaki VELCA, lead by 4 points against UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Final quarter coming up. Baba now makes it a 6-point ball game. 18 points tonight for Yudai Baba. Well, Uncle Lester, I will explain that one at the next timeout. It's a very sensitive and delicate situation. Final seconds now here. Ikaruga. Divided by Yamaguchi. They got to force a 3 up. Haya can't get it. Well, Grant Jarrett has come back into the game, probably to help. Offensive rebounding tonight for the BREX. Now down by 6. Brantley leading the way so far. Baba looking to go up to 20 points. There's a 19-footer. It's up, and again, Yudai Baba is unconscious. And he makes it an 8-point ball game as he sinks 20 points. A timeout called by BREX head coach Zico Coronel. Remember, BREX, the number 2 team here in the B-League across all 3 divisions, chasing their 3rd B-League championship. But Japanese national team Olympic basketball player Yudai Baba, along with Jarrell Brantley, piling on the punishments. So a question we've been asked, of course, which is a very delicate situation. On the UTSUNOMIYA BREX bench, there is a photo on the first seat. And that, unfortunately, is a photo of the late, great Kevin Bracewell. Kevin Bracewell was the head coach of UTSUNOMIYA BREX, who unfortunately this year did pass away. So our thoughts and prayers go to his family. He was a magnificent player, played at Georgetown from 1998 to 2002, and a great player in his day. Played with some very top teams in Europe, played for Kashiaka in Turkey, Cholet in France, and also played for Limoges, but you know, loved by many within the New Zealand basketball community, and also loved by many internationally. So I hope that answers the question. Our thoughts and prayers go to a great basketball, a former great player, former great coach, and a fantastic human being for those who knew him very closely. Well, Coach Maora right now of Nagasaki probably very enthused that his players have turned this around. Remember, in the first quarter, they trailed by 10 points, and now they find themselves up by 8. But one thing I'll say about the BREX, there's a reason they're the #2 team in the B-League. Right now they need to find some rhythm, but they've got to stop turning the ball over. Brian Jarrett fighting on the ground, but it's going to remain to Nagasaki. Brantley kicks out. Aramark making 11 points. Can't convert, but Brantley doesn't finish with the putback. Now BREX try to go quickly, but a foul has been committed. And that's going to be foul number 4 against number 4, Masaya Karimata. All I would say in my experience of watching BREX for the last 6 years since commentating B-League, especially this season and last season for sure. 8 points with 8 minutes to go. That's nothing to them. This team is too talented to fold over now. And Trish Carnell, you said it very well. I did not know Kevin Bracewell personally, but everyone that I know personally that knew him always had great things to say about him. And they always said, great former player, great former coach, but an even better person. Well, nice take here by Newbill. Down the middle, goes in. No foul called. Well, definitely took the brunt of that one. But now here comes Bradley. He's been on fire so far, and it rolls its way in and out. Well, that basketball just defying the laws of gravity. Well, BREX needs something here in their offense. Newbill penetrates and inadvertently turns it over. And a 3-on-2 for Nagasaki. Yamaguchi draws a foul, so 2 free throws coming up. A chance to make this a 10-point lead. It's actually free throws coming up for UTSUNOMIYA, excuse me. Well, checking into the game now, Masaki Morikawa hasn't played a lot tonight. This has been, at times, quite an instrumental player for Nagasaki VELCA. They haven't had the best season, but you know, there's definitely room for growth for this team. Well, UTSUNOMIYA, originally from Toyama, Japan, went to the University of Tsukuba. As mentioned, began his career with Alvac Tokyo and played in the G League with the Texas Legends and Melbourne United in the Australian NBL. Of course, was part of the Dallas Mavericks Summer League team, but just couldn't quite make that push to the NBA. Well, I'd say one thing. A win tonight for Nagasaki would be great for moral spirit to build on. But I would love to see UTSUNOMIYA play for Akatsuki Japan, the Japanese national team, this summer at the 2025 FIBA Asia Cup. Newbill penetrates. This time draws a foul, but he's unable to get the and one. Well, I think the argument coming from Glenn Jarrett is that should be an unsportsmanlike foul, but I'd have to slow that down and have a look at the replay. Well, here's a look at the replay. Have a look at the foul here. Well, there's a swipe for sure. So I wonder if the officials, I think they're going to review this. So the referees are going to go to the table, I think. Or are they? I don't know. Maybe not.
UTSUNOMIYA substitution. Number 30, number
Well, Zico Coronel's done the right thing. He's called for a head coach's challenge. Because in my mind, that is a very... Well, that swipe is always a very costly one when you go for it. And Zico Coronel's saying, look, I called for the head coach's challenge. So the referee's decided now whether... It's been called now. And he called it a while ago, so players are going to have to go to the bench. And the referees are going to take a look at the replay to find out if this needs to be upgraded to an unsportsmanlike, which, if you're accustomed to watching NBA and not international basketball, similar to a flagrant one. But it will mean BREX will get 2 free throws if it's upgraded and they'll get the ball back. But we'll have a look here. Watch Jarrell Brantley. He's come from behind. That's quite a hard swat. I mean, there's no attempt to play the ball, unfortunately. But I'm not a referee. They're going to make the decision. The rules in international basketball, every coach is allowed 2 head coaches challenge. Challenges, I should say. But now we're going to find out, what decision will the referees make? No upgrade. So just 2 free throws coming up here for DJ Newbill. Well, DJ Newbill definitely has come a long way in his career. Started at Southern Miss, then went to Penn State for his final 3 years. Started his pro career in the French Pro LMB in 2015 for the team that's owned by Tony Parker, former San Antonio Spurs player, Asvel Villebon. Of course, then went and played in Turkey, played in Belgium, played in Poland, but also made a name for himself when he played for the New Zealand Breakers in the NBL. Came to Japan in 2020, started with Osaka Avesa for 3 seasons. In fact, the last time Osaka made the playoffs, well, DJ Newbill was their top scorer. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Cutting it down to a 9-point ball game. Just over 2.5 played here in the 4th quarter. Nagasaki trying to hold a good help side defense by Grant Jarrett, preventing the post entry to Tanner Groves. Well, J.S. Turns, the team that plays in the away team you're referring to, they're actually ranked number 2 in the B.LEAGUE. So, yeah, sorry, bro. And they actually won yesterday in this game by 13. Every great team has a bad day. And it's not over yet. BREX still in this. Brantley trying to ISO, final seconds. Groves, big 3, buries it and makes it. Nagasaki's first 12-point lead of the night. Their biggest margin. Alani about to do the unthinkable. We've had a lot of upsets this weekend in the B-League, but still plenty of time left. And another offensive foul. Well, it was a switch on defense. Udai Baba had to pick up his former national team teammate, Gavin Edwards. Those 2 were teammates at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, but watch Gavin Edwards. Here's a switch. Gets caught up and has holding there. Right there, yeah. That's clear as daylight. That's a good call. Now we're into 7 seconds. Rose comes up with a bull screen. Brantley got it by Garrett. And Brantley kicks out. Yamaguchi, another 3, and Ayasumi Nasai. And as they say in Japanese, arigato gozaimasu. Big time 3-pointer. Well, nice play down low, finding Shinji Takashima. Finally, the BREX get something. Only down 13, over 6 minutes. Well, here comes Unai Baba. He's had a hot hand in this game. Now finds Brantley. And Brantley, well, Baba Boom just found Brantley Boom. Both players over 20 points. And they're cooking. And BREX have to call a timeout. Oh, this is incredible. They had 10 turnovers at the beginning of the first half. Or the beginning of the second half, excuse me. Now, I'm not quite sure what they need to review here. Are they going to see if Brantley had his foot in the line? So there's Brantley. You're not going to be able to see from that angle. Let's have a look here. The three-pointer stands. 16-point lead. Nagasaki have completely turned the tide of this game. $16-point lead currently here to Nagasaki VELCA. Luba pulls up for a quick three. But now foul's going to be called against Nagasaki VELCA. Or is it on Shinji Takashima? Well, this unfortunately is becoming total capitulation of the BREX. Well, 5:44 to go. 5:45, excuse me. Can Nagasaki hold on? Can BREX make an imperative run? One thing they're going to have to try to defend is the three-point shooting because Nagasaki have been making it rain here in the last few possessions. Nice back door. There's a kick out. Back to Brantley. Brantley looking for the ISO. Finds Yamaguchi. Oh, may have got away with a foul. That's surely... That's a 24-second violation, but I think Kevin Edwards may be quite relieved they didn't call a foul there because that was quite a hard bump. Well, if they ought to make a comeback, it's got to start now. Still just over 5 minutes. BREX need to find the rhythm in their offense. Ogawa penetrates, draws a foul, so he'll go to the free throw line. Remember, he had two crucial three-pointers in the third quarter that, you know, when Nagasaki made that early run at the beginning of the second half, it silenced any shape of what a comeback was going to look like. But Masaya Kadimata has fouled out. So Masaki Morikawa coming back into the game for Nagasaki. Morikawa's got to make these free throws. Satsuya Ogawa only averaging 3.7 points per game. He signed with the BREX back in 2022. He was a part of their youth academy system. Because he's really worked his way into the, tonight's starting lineup here for the BREX. 14-point deficit. Groves now puts it on the ground, goes in, and again, just no help side defense, and showing no fear. And it's almost like when he picked up his fourth personal foul in the third quarter, he's only turned his game up a notch. 16-point lead to Nagasaki. Timeout to Utsunomiya BREX. 4:55 to go. While Nagasaki may find it hard to probably get into the playoffs this season, BREX look like they're set for the playoffs. They have the second best record. It's only going to dampen their efforts of trying to chase San Antonio Phoenix for the best record here in the B-League. We'll be be back in just under 60 seconds. Well, Tanner Groves tonight, 7 points. That last bucket puts it back to a 16-point lead. BREX need composure. They've got to be stealth as well because not a lot of time left when you think about it, especially given this margin. Foul's going to be committed. That's going to be the fourth and final team foul against Nagasaki.
Level foul number 18, foul. Third personal, 4, team foul. Side out, UTSUNOMIYA.
Well, that's going to be a sideline possession coming up, but any more fouls, BREX will go to the free throw line. BREX do have one foul to give. But their problem right now, they've got to find some spark in their offense because if they're not careful, this game could be wrapped up in the next minute or so.
Substitution is UTSUNOMIYA.
Well, sub coming in is Grant Jarrett's going to come into the game. So I don't know who's coming out, but well, DJ Newbill maybe still favoring that shoulder after taking that foul earlier from Jarrell Brantley. So hopefully that's not too much a concern for him. If you look at the other playoff teams, the likes of Guma Crane Thunders, well, they lost their best player, Trey McKitty-Jones, to injury. Now is not the time. The playoffs are coming soon. And BREX, one of the best records last year, getting eliminated in the first round of the quarterfinals. 4-2-3. But Nagasaki come up with it, and again, showing that resilience. Another deep three coming up. Are you kidding me? Ichi ni san kudasai. Arigato gozaimasu. Dui tashimashite. It is party time tonight here in Nagasaki. Masaki Morikawa threw up a prayer. The arc on this three-pointer, the negative parabola. I mean, look at this. Well, here's a play from Brantley. Finds Morikawa. That goes over the top of Mount Fuji and lands here in Nagasaki. Nothing but net and one. Oh, 20, well, it was a 20-point lead. It's cut down to 17. Nobody saw this one coming. Well, the BREX trying to apply some more pressure. There's a bump fake by Takashima, but he misses from point-blank range. Comes up with a loose ball. Cuts it down to 15. 3:40 left. If they're to make any form of a comeback, it's got to be a miracle, but they're going to have to get stops on every plays. Brantley pick and pop, wide open three. Finally, Nagasaki cooled down. Ogawa trying to go aggressively. There's a kick out. Takashima off balance, fade away. That's just not going to fall. And Nagasaki will regain possession. Well, a lot of people asking questions about the BREX, but, you know, if you haven't been watching them all season, they're in my mind, they are the number 2 ranked team. They may be the best. That's going to be an out-of-bounds violation. And come playoff time, BREX will contend for a championship. Every great team has a night off. .247, down by 15. Ogawa now. Decisions now. Got to be quick as Newbill fires 3. And that cuts it down at 12 with 2:38 left. Oh, tornado run currently here for the BREX. Timeout call by Coach Maoda of Nagasaki VELCA. We will be back in just under 60 seconds. Will the BREX make or do the impossible? Uncle Lester Camp. Not quite sure, to be honest, though. Not to my knowledge. But I would say I am a Bronny James fan, to be honest. Well, the BREX tonight, they are missing Makoto Hiyajima, who is one of the best shooting guards in the B-League and currently defending champion of the B-League three-point competition. And so I felt that, unfortunately, when that man there, who, you know, I think may be the B-League's most valuable player this season, DJ Newbill, when he picked up his 4th foul, that definitely changed the emotion and energy of this game. Well, mathematically not impossible for Nagasaki to make the playoffs. They would more or less have to win all their remaining 14 games, including tonight, and hope that other teams slip up, but that, you know, that's very unlikely. BREX, on the other hand, even if they do lose tonight, they'll still be the number 2 team here in the B-League. Well, Tanner Groves picked up that foul trouble in the first half, but when he picked up that 4th foul in the 3rd quarter, Coach Mauer decided to leave him on the floor, which I thought was quite an interesting choice, but you know what? It's paid off for them. A big light Tanner Groves is just able to spread the floor for your offense and really create that room and avoid any congestion. Well, 2:38 to go. Nagasaki, I don't think they're going to advance the ball. But one thing they've got to be wary of here is getting caught in any half-court or full-court traps. They've got to be prepared for the full-court press. Well, if you saw this game in the opening first quarter, BREX were definitely the better team. They led by double digits. Of course, you know, falling it's that stage of, you know, offensive. I wouldn't even know how to explain it because they don't often play like this. Well, we just have a current issue with the floor, which the moisturizer removal technicians are just trying to take care of. You know, Zico Coronel, if there's any coach that's going to lead this team to a 3rd B-League championship, he's the man. And look, he'll, regardless however this game goes, he'll get them to review this, look back on it, and they'll get better, no doubt about it. And if you're new to B-League, you know, watch this league more. Pre-conference. Wow, there's a turnover. Nubo comes up with it. Missed the layup. Goes out of bounds. BREX will get it back. Wow. That's interesting. Well, Nubo had to make a tough layup, but I felt like that should have gone the other way. Nagasaki trying to deal with the pressure. Nubo getting ready for the double team. And they just avoid the 8-second violation. And that's going to be another foul. It's against Gavin Edwards. So free throws coming up for Nagasaki VELCA. Oh no, it's on Shinji Takashima, excuse me.
With the end of the last 2 shots will be given to BREX. 2 shots.
Well, free throws in for Brantley. He's been great from the free throw line tonight. And no problem yet again. Well, as I said, what should have been a 10-point deficit now looks like it's going to be a 14-point lead if Jarrell Brantley converts his free throw. 2:15 to go. No time to waste. Ogawa's got to go quickly. Goes down the middle. Hesitates, goes in, and what a move. Well, again, 15 points for the 22-year-old tonight. And Nagasaki. Well, it's almost like an invitation. There you see the UTSUNOMIYA fans behind him who made the long journey here to Nagasaki. And this is one thing I've loved about the B.LEAGUE over years. You could have Hokkaido Lavenga, the island north of the mainland in the north of Japan, playing Ruku Golden Kings in the Okinawa Arena south of the mainland island. And you get away fans. Well, there's going to be a baseline possession. New build. Now switch, defended by AJ Edu. Goes for a quick three. It's up, no good. BREX saved this one. There's a baseline shot, it's up, and now it's a 10-point ball game with 1:46 to go. But is it too little, too late here for the BREX? Gavin Edwards just stumbling, loses balance, but he regathers himself. Nagasaki right now don't need to rush anything. Just keep on winding that shot clock down. Brantley down the middle. Hesitation, separation, mid-range. Can't get it. BREX has got to go quick. No time to waste. Ogawa, I should have gone for the three. Now goes mid-range. And had the three-pointer, decided to go from 15. And unfortunately, that might be it. So that's all a part of the learning curve, the learning journey for the young 22-year-old. Nagasaki right now feel like it's Operation Hang On, but they still have the momentum. Baba, final play. Got it by Takashima. Pulls up, mid-range. Baba, boom, bang! And there I said it for the first time tonight. 24 points for the Japanese Olympic player, Yudai Baba. Cook it. Simply cook it. I got you, tennis freak. And I'm always good to the fans who come in and always behave themselves. I got to tell you, you've been an absolute superstar. Shout out to all the fans who are watching live on FIBA's, on B.LEAGUE International's live YouTube page. The fans have been most valuable people tonight, true MVPs. 12-point lead currently to Nagasaki VELCA, 50 seconds to go. And while the defeat is not going to be an iceberg hit to UTSUNOMIYA BREX, as I mentioned, they'll still be number 2 in the B.LEAGUE, number 1 in the Eastern Conference. unless they, I mean, look, there's 14 games left. They could still go for the #1 spot. And as I've always said, is, you know, in every game I commentate, BREX will be a title contender. For sure, they've learned from the mistakes last season. Zico Coronel definitely is a great coach, and he's gonna be able to get this team to turn it around come the postseason. Calvin Edwards penetrates in, no foul call, but BREX will get it back. Six seconds left here on the shot clock. I think there's going to be an official review. And now under 2 minutes in any international game, especially under FIBA rules, if the referees are unsure, they can go to the monitor to make a decision. Well, there's the play there. Very tough to see who got the last touch. See if we can get a better angle here. That's a nice block by Tanner Groves. I think that's Hayato Yamaguchi actually with the denial. It looks like BREX will get it back. 6 seconds left here on the shot clock. Down by 12. I've seen the Tracy McGrady reference. How about Reggie Miller, 1995 versus the Knicks in the playoffs? I think that was better. Nubla now going for a quick fadeaway three. That's up, and that's not going to go. Nagasaki looked like job's done tonight. Well, tonight they were led by this man, Jarrell Brantley. Terrific game along with Udai Baba. Now looking for the icing on the cake. Brantley, step back three. Not going to get it. Rebound secured. Everything here is going to be a consolation for the BREX. Pass getting intercepted. AJ Edu comes up with a steal. Well, basketball fans, we thank you for joining us live on B.LEAGUE International. And after losing by 13 yesterday, tonight, Nagasaki VELCA wins 77-65 against the #2 team here in the B.LEAGUE. Terrific win for head coach Maor, led by Udai Baba and Jarrell Brantley. Well, stick around for the postgame. We're going to get an interview with head coach Maor. We're also going to hear from the game's most valuable player as well as the captain. We'll run back the best highlights of this game. We'll look at the stats, and then we'll look at the upcoming week's fixtures here in the Japanese B.LEAGUE. Every great team has a stumble block on the way to getting a championship. Tonight is going to be that night for the BREX. But they'll be back, they'll be bigger, and they will be better. I can promise you that. Well, a magnificent win for Nagasaki VELCA. Even though it looks like mission impossible for making the B.LEAGUE playoffs this year, it's what they can take from this win to finish the season as strong as possible heading into next year. Because, you know, it's a good team. They've had some changes to the roster, no doubt about it. And interesting about Nagasaki VELCA, they're the only team since the inauguration of the B.LEAGUE to go through 2 consecutive promotions from B3 to B2. So the third tier, the second tier, to make it here to B1. And Nagasaki's next game will be against the B.LEAGUE's very best team, San Diego Phoenix. Coming next week on Saturday, doubleheader. UTSUNOMIYA BREX will be on the road. They'll be heading to Shizuoka, where they'll take on the Seahorses Mikawa, a team currently in frame for one of the 2 wildcard spots along with Guma Crane Thunders to make the B.LEAGUE playoffs. Well, very shortly, we are going to hear from head coach Maor. We're going to get his thoughts. We'll hear from the game's most valuable player, and I think that's going to be a tough decision, as it will either go to Jarrell Brantley or Udai Baba. Don't ask me. I'm not going to have an opinion here, but a great win tonight here at the Happiness Arena for these fans to see their team play such elite basketball. Well, Uncle Lester Cam, thank you for your kind words, brother. I hope to see you again for more B.LEAGUE games. Let's listen now to head coach Maor.
応援ありがとうございます。 みんなで来てくれて everybody
皆さん来ていただきありがとうございます。多分
日本語めっちゃ難しい。Free throw defense from you guys was amazing all game.
本当、宇都宮さんがフリースロー打つ時の皆さんのディフェンスが本当に素晴らしかったです。
And the fact that you never stopped believing and you never stopped supporting us yesterday is what gave us the energy to come in and fight today.
そうですね、本当に昨日の時もですね、やっぱり自分たちがこうすごい厳しい状態だったんですけども、その中でも自分たちを信頼し続けて応援し続けてくれたことが本当にサポートいただき本当にありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
マウヘッドコーチありがとうございました。
Well, there you heard from Coach Maor. Very impressive to see speaking Japanese there, learning his first year coaching in Israel. But now we hear from the game's most valuable player. We're yet to find out who that's going to be.
本日の MVP はこの2人。Number 7,
Well, Jarrell Brantley, the most valuable player, and rightfully so in this game. And now we're going to get a few words from him tonight. What a terrific performance from Brantley. From beginning to end, led the way tonight for VELCA. Well, it's going to 2 players. And I think that's a good decision. Both Jarrell Brantley and Yudai Baba sharing the honors tonight. And a great performance in both players. Well, we'll hear what they have to say very soon.
山崎俊弘様です。それでは馬場選手とブラントリー選手一言をお願いします。
こんにちは。日本の清来です。I'm happy to be here with Boom, so that's all I have to say. I'm glad I got it with Baba Boom.
本当にこの場に雄大選手と一緒に立てて幸せです。
どうぞ。
そうですね。皆さん、たくさんの応援ありがとうございました。宇都宮ブレックスのファンの皆さんも長崎遠いところまで本当にありがとうございます。ブレックスさんもそうですし、僕たちも怪我人がいる中でなかなかタフな戦いが続いてるんですけど、チーム一丸となってこういう東地区の1位のチームから勝ち星を挙げられてよかったと思います。まだまだプレーオフまでチャンスもあると思ってますし、激しい戦いが続くと思うんですけど、皆さん一緒になって戦っていただけたらと思います。今日はありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。改めまして本日の MVP は
Well, there you heard from both Jarrell Brantley and Yudai Baba.
選手でした。
May get a few more words here, but great to see Jarrell Brantley, like his head coach Maor, flexing those Japanese words. Nihongo wo hanashimasu. Like that very much. These fans, they love every part about it.
最後に一ついいですか。長崎のみんなの前で勝ててよかったばーい。
Well, final words coming up from Yudai Baba just to get the home crowd enthused, and they were terrific tonight. And you heard from Coach Maor making the reference. A big arigato gozaimasu. A thank you to the Nagasaki fans for really helping and making this a tremendous atmosphere. And that's the thing about the B-League. Just such a great family environment. You come here, you cheer for your team, you show your passion. Nagasaki tonight, well, they hit 9 3-pointers. They were 33%. And they only missed 1 free throw this evening. Well, Nagasaki total with 36 rebounds, finishing with 8 offensive boards. I guess that's disappointing for BREX because BREX, 35 rebounds, 14 offensive boards. But it just didn't go in their favor tonight. Now we'll get it translated, what Yudai Baba said. Well, Yudai Baba's comments were, thank you to all the supporters for your support tonight. And of course, thank you. He showed his respect to the UTSUNOMIYA BREX fans who made the long journey from the Tojiki Prefecture. And even with some injured players, it was a tough game. They were able to take a win from the first place team in the Eastern Division and will continue to fight hard until the playoffs. Well, let's hear now from Koya Kawamata.
皆さん一緒に、木林のためにハッピーバースデーを歌いましょう。いきますよ。はい、せーの。ハッピーバースデー to you。ハッピーバースデー to you。ハッピーバースデー dear 木林。
Well, the birthday cheers coming from Koya Kawamata. Today was Kibayashi-san's birthday. That's the home crowd. Actually, number 8, Kibayashi's birthday. So, a big happy birthday to him. More words coming from Koya Kawamata.
こんばんは。ありがとうございます。23歳になりました。まだまだ若いので、これからも精一杯頑張ります。ありがとうございます。
Thank you, Kibayashi, and happy birthday. そして先ほどご到着された方は、セブンのインフォメーションカウンターにお立ち寄りください。
Well, Kibayashi, 23 years of age. Of course, another young prospect here in Japanese basketball. You know, respect him, is a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but hasn't quite broken his way into the lineup. As Jarrell Brownlee and Koya Kawamata, who just steals a bit of the cake. Well, this is what you gotta love about the B-League. Well, again, a big happy birthday to you, Kibayashi. Now 23 years of age. His 23rd birthday today, and he'll celebrate with his teammates. And a big victory against the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference and the number 2 team overall here in the B-League, UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Well, again, fans, we thank you for joining us live here in the city of Nagasaki. Here at the Happiness Arena, this new state-of-the-art stadium. Well, Mark Smith, of course, out with injury, unable to play this evening. But still, they'll fight to the end, no matter what. And with a fan base like this, you know the future is definitely going to be the bright for Nagasaki VELCA. Only their 2nd season here in the B-League. Of course, it was only 4 years ago they were playing in the 3rd tier of Japanese basketball in B3. Promoted then to B2. Of course, in 2022-23, promoted to the top level here in the Japanese B-League. It's been a great story for Nagasaki VELCA. They've only continued to get better. And even if they don't make the playoff run this year, next season, a lot of optimism for this fantastic basketball franchise. Well, they pay their final homages, their respect to this Nagasaki VELCA home crowd. And they'll enjoy this Sunday with this monumental victory. against UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Well, very shortly, we're going to look at the highlights from this game. We'll then look back at the key stats. And I find it outstanding that even when they didn't get as many offensive rebounds as the BREX, I mean, they still were terrific. But the thing about Nagasaki in this game, they were clinical when it mattered. Well, they stepped up, made some huge plays, hit some big shots. Yudai Baba, terrific performance. I think the key question tonight that I've been asking every time I do watch this team play, with 24 points tonight for Yudai Baba, hopefully we'll see him play for the Japanese national team this summer at the 2025 FIBA Asia Cup, because Japan has got a great chance of winning with the team and talent they have. And that's not talking about their NBA players with the likes of Yuki Kawamura and of course Rui Hachimura. They've got great players here in the B-League. AJ Edu tonight was 3 points away from a double-double. He had 10 rebounds, 7 points, and also had 1 block and 1 steal at the end of the game. Well, Nagasaki didn't quite have anybody finish with a double-double tonight. Jarrell Brantley, along with his 28 points, he did have 7. Well, he almost had a triple-double for that matter. It's 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Well, came close to a quadruple-double, 4 steals too. Well, the BREX as well, nobody quite falling within the double-double category. Atsushi Ogawa led them tonight with 15 points, and here are the top highlights from this game. Well, if you joined us at the very beginning, Nagasaki, that was their opening bucket of the game coming from AJ Edu. Well, the three-pointer by the 40-year young veteran, Kosuke Takeuchi, and, BREX with the advantage, total dominance in the first quarter. I mean, they were running circles all around the Nagasaki VELCA's defense. And it just became too many turnovers. 10 turnovers in the first half for Nagasaki. That time, Shinji Takashima converting it into fast break points. But I think it's a case here. BREX just maybe the emotional, the psychological fatigue settling in. So they'll get a lot of rest from now until their next game against Seahorses Mikawa. But Brantley turned it on in the second quarter, hit some big threes. That got Nagasaki back in this one. And they were only down by 2 points going into the halftime break. Well, great performance. Of course, Coach Zico Coronel, a lot of belief in the young Atsuya Ogawa, giving him a starting place tonight. And that tells you a lot from a great coach, giving that sort of, not necessarily the keys to the city, but the confidence to a young player to say, listen, I need you tonight to step up. And, not a win tonight for the BREX, but they'll learn from this. They'll be back. They'll be bigger. They will be better. As mentioned, no Makoto Hiyajima tonight for UTSUNOMIYA BREX. But Brantley just showed too many areas of dominance. 14 points at the end of the first half. Had 14 in the second when he finished at 28, but it was especially in the second quarter when Nagasaki VELCA just turned it up a notch. Well, here was Yudai Baba's final shot of the first half. The mid-range, the pump fake. And simply too clutch for the defense to handle. Baba tonight, a terrific performance. As we mentioned, co-MVP in this game. Yes, he did finish at 24, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I'd say that's a regular day at the office for Yudai Baba, but Jarrell Brantley simply was cooking in the second half. Well, Brantley attempted 13 three-pointers, converted 4 of them this evening. Yudai Baba was 2 out of 5. Interesting with the BREX. The BREX, they hit 10 three-pointers more, and I find this result staggering. BREX more offensive boards, more three-pointers converted. 22 points in the paint, 22 points of turnovers, but only 6 fast break points tonight for the BREX. Well, I said the BREX led by as many as 10. They actually led by as many as 15, but unfortunately didn't have an answer for this man, Jarrell Brantley. He was too much to handle. We can be sure when they go to Shizuoka next weekend to play against Nagasaki, against Seahorses Mikawa, the BREX will be back hungry. Because now they're going to be 2 games behind, chasing the #1 spot in the B-League, and that's against San Diego Phoenix. Well, the fourth quarter became the three-point entourage. And here was the and one from downtown. This time, Masaki Morikawa converting the four-point play. Well, you felt a comeback was coming. They cut it down to 12. They got a steal and could have made it a 10-point ball game, but then here's where it became a 14-point lead yet again. Baba Boom's mid-range, and it was all over. A terrific win tonight for Nagasaki VELCA. They'll take honors, and it may be a long mountain for them to climb to get into the playoffs. But they'll take a lot of onus from this game, knowing that they beat the number one team in the East, and I repeat, the number two team overall here in the Japanese B-League. Well, the Brantley Baba fan club. Well, we'll take a look at some of the key stats from this game. We'll also look at some of... Well, actually, we'll look at some of the key fixtures coming up, excuse me. Well, it's going to be an exciting end to the regular season. And playoff fixtures. Well, when playoff time comes in the B-League, that's where it's going to get exciting. I think a very impressive thing tonight, both teams only missing one free throw each. And even though BREX winning the offensive rebound count, one area they let themselves down, they didn't get as many second chance points, which they're accustomed to getting. Well, the BREX tonight only finished with 10 second chance points. Of course, Nagasaki VELCA finished with 12, but also Nagasaki only 8 fast break points, but that was an area that did affect UTSUNOMIYA. Only 6 fast break points tonight. And it really was the Brantley Baba show. 11 points coming from Nagasaki's bench. Whereas you look at UTSUNOMIYA, 29 points coming from their bench. BREX had more three-pointers, but I'll just say this one last time. Nagasaki, they were clinical when it mattered. They hit the big shots at the right time. BREX built that lead in the first quarter, and you kind of felt they were going to run away with it. But unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be tonight. But still, I'll maintain what I believe. UTSUNOMIYA, BREX will be B-League championship contenders this season. Well, they're going to have to really fight the demons of losing in the first round last year to Chiba Jets in the quarterfinals. But a great game tonight for young 22-year-old Atsuyo Ogawa, 15. Well, a combined total in the end of 52 points coming from both Jarrell Brantley and Yudai Baba. AJ Edu was 3 points away from a double-double, led all rebounds tonight with 10. Grant Jarrett only with 6 boards. And Jarrell Brantley, wow. Let me tell you something about Jarrell Brantley. I said this already. 2 rebounds away from a double-double, 4 assists away potentially from a triple-double, and 6 steals away potentially from a quadruple-double. I mean, he had a game of games tonight. And there's a reason they had to split the MVP shares along with him and Yudai Baba, because all the stats I mentioned to you, it really was down to their performance. I said Jarrell Brantley needed 30 points for them to win. Well, 2 points shy at 28. Still got the job done. A great win for Nagasaki VELCA. Not impossible for them to qualify for the B-League playoffs, but they're going to have to win all their remaining games and hope the teams above them slip up. Well, we'll take a look very shortly at the upcoming fixtures next week. Yokohama B. Corsairs will take on Shimane Susano Magic. Shiga Lakes will host the Saga Ballooners. Defending champions, Hiroshima Dragonflies will take on the team they defeated in the semifinals to get to the Yokohama Arena for the finals last year, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Lavenga Hokkaido, the team on the island of the north of Japan, will face a team from the island of the south of Japan, Ruku Golden Kings. Guma Crane Thunders will take on Ibaraki Robots. Koshigai Alphas will host Akita Northern Happy Nets, the team that is said to have the most passionate fans here in the B-League. San Antonio Phoenix will host Nagasaki VELCA, the number one team here in the B-League. San Antonio Phoenix. Seahorse Mikao will take on UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Alvok Tokyo. Well, potentially a derby matchup against Chiba Jets. Both teams in the playoff frame. Sun Rocket Shibuya chasing the wild card. They'll host Sendai 89ers. Kawasaki Brave Thunders losing by 38 today to Chiba. They'll take on Fighting Eagles Nagoya. Final game, we'll see Osaka Avesa hosting Kyoto Hanaris. Well, magnificent atmosphere tonight here at the Happiness Arena. We were live in Nagasaki, Japan, this beautiful city, for now what is the fastest growing, exponentially growing league in international basketball. It was B-League action. Nagasaki VELCA win against UTSUNOMIYA BREX. But unfortunately, it's the time of the evening where we must say our farewells. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Arigatou gozaimasu. Sayonara. Ayasumi nasai. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye, good night, and God bless.